can tell me who do you want me to be. One, two, three.
So how are you? Good morning.
I'm doing good. Good morning. How are you doing?
We are very pleased to have you here with us today.
Thank you for having me. This is really cool.
So I think that you have a story to tell, and it's a real pleasure for us.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you caught those shows. Those are really, really fun for me.
Okay, Amy. So firstly, who is Emi Grace? Please tell us about your family, your childhood, your motivations, everything.
But I was raised in a really small beach town called Summerland. It's about 2 hours north of here. I have a twin brother who I adore. Got a mom and dad. Me and my mom are really close. And let's see, I grew up playing a lot of sports. I got about a year and a half through college, and I kind of got my start in sync really early on, which was kind of the bridge for me to move here. But I mean, truthfully, like I've been producing since I was 15, playing guitar since my early teens. And that was kind of like always in the back of my head, like the thing that was driving me to just like have to do it and have to pursue it. But the funny thing was it was in total secrecy. I didn't tell my parents or my brother that I was making music. I would just do it all when I was home alone and stuff. So I kind of had this like 5-year incubation period of like what Emi Grace was, to just make music on my own and just love it. I was playing guitar through a headphones amp. And that's kind of where I like had my foundation, so that when I left school, I was just so clear on what I wanted to do. And yeah, signed a lease at 19, moved here when I was 20, and I love it. I've been really happy to be able to pursue this full time. It's a dream.
Specifically, what inspired you to pursue a career in music?
It's the love. I think that I say this a lot, but when I'm on stage playing guitar, even in my room, like I'm so sure that it's like the thing that like I was meant to do with my life. I have no questions about it. And it's just, I love it. That's it. It's just love. I love it more than anything. And it would be crazy for me not to pursue the thing that I love so much,
Your passion, your love for
Right.
music. How would you describe your music style or sound?
Yeah, I kind of go all around. I think that I have influences for sure from the electronic side and the rock side. But I grew up, some of my influences, being Tom Morello, Van Halen, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and like no doubt Amy Winehouse. So a lot of these really different kind of like things that kind of came together to originally online kind of create this rock electronic sound. But then my live show is pretty much just like this hectic rock show that I love. And I think that I would describe my sound as it's not in the lines. I think that it's kind of just, it's just always out there and kind of just like whatever I'm feeling, like creating in the moment. But I don't worry about being too clean or too neat. I kind of just like let the inspiration just flow, and I think that's what I try and capture with all my music.
Music influences in general?
Everything. Funny enough, like 40s big band, listen to a lot of that. But I think that definitely rock is a huge inspiration for me. But I love all of music. It's so hard because I could say any genre, and I love hip hop. I love classical. I played violin, was classically trained for like 9 or 10 years. So it's so funny because of course rock and classic rock and punk is a massive influence for me. Like No Effects, I have their vinyl like right over there. But I think that rock, classic rock, it just massively influenced my entire life in punk. Because I grew up skating as well. That was a huge part of my life, was being a skateboarder. And in all of that is where I really got introduced to the punk scene. But yeah, outside of those two genres, definitely, lots of just anything musical, kind of. I don't know if that makes any sense, but just like
Yeah.
lots of noise, commotion. Like I've always just been super drawn to that.
What would you say that sets you apart from other rock pop artists?
It's a very tough question. I think that I would say that my, fusion of electronic in there, but I think maybe it would be just some of the chaos. I think that, when I'm playing, I'm kind of just playing outside the lines.
Baby, I'm so nauseous.
I think that right now everything has been, there's this big focus to play to grid, play to the click and get it all locked in and timed perfectly. But I think that I'm really trying to maintain this like freedom and kind of like carefreeness to my playing into my music. So I think that that could be something kind of in the modern time that maybe sets me apart a bit.
In live presentations, the energy, I think that sets you apart very well from many other artists.
I appreciate that. I mean, I think truthfully, that probably is like my love of live. It's my favorite thing about being an artist is playing live. And I think it is probably my live show just because it's like, it's a special moment, I think I take it really seriously and I love to make it just so special. And yeah, I think that probably would be the main thing, honestly. I think that's a big thing that I'm really trying to push with my music and my show is like bringing back the importance of live. I think that it's so important and so special. And I think that I totally align with that. Yeah.
It's been said, Emi, that your music transports your listeners through the highs and lows of life. Is that correct?
I would say so. I would totally say so. At least that's my goal. I think I want to, it sounds cliche, but really bring people on a ride. The lows in the sense where I want to just bring people up so much that it's just this roller coaster. And it's just like, especially in a live show, I want people to be in touch with all of the different ways they feel in that 40 minutes. You know what I mean?
That takes me to the next question. What emotions do you hope listeners to take away from your live presentations, from your music in general?
After a live show, I think I want people to feel just so like, just love within themselves and just like clear-headed, like not thinking about anything else, like that feeling you feel when you just have been so in the moment after being a part of something. I think that like watch a movie almost, when you kind of leave the movie and it's like that's just what's on your mind. I think that I want people to just feel like free. I think that's the main thing, when that would be the right word for it. People would leave the show and I want them to just feel so free, like you go run down the streets and go do whatever they want to do, and inspired to, if they feel like they have an instrument they want to play or do a thing they want to build or anything, I want them to feel like, they can conquer anything. I think I really want to have that energy in people's hearts when they leave.
You like writing music, but please tell us about your creative approach to writing music, because everybody does that differently and all ways are correct ways of doing it.
So it's a little bit funny because it switches up. Usually every 2 months, I'll kind of have a new way about going about it. But right now, I usually start with a riff that I love on guitar. And if the riff is right, then I'm in already great spot. Sometimes I'll just put down a kick drum and just honestly write to that and just come up with riffs over and over again on the E string. And then once the riff is built, I'll go right to the chorus. And if I can get a good chorus and a good riff, then I'm so happy. And then from there, I kind of build out and I'll start with the first verse and kind of get a melody for that and kind of just go through and then write around kind of the foundation that I've produced out. And I love writing that way right now.
You put more importance to lyrics or to music or to both?
But I would say both. For me, I won't put out a song that feels like doesn't encompass both of those things. I think there's for different genres, it'll of course depend on what I'm primarily focusing on. Sometimes the lyrics will be a little bit less emotional, but they'll still kind of, hit a punch. But sometimes with certain songs that I have, I put so much emphasis on the lyrics and I don't even worry about the melody as long as the message gets delivered.
I will never gonna make it. Got me thinking that you're never gonna take my love, my love, my love, my love.
You also represent a new generation of artists, of rock artists, rock pop artists. What is needed to be successful in this new music industry?
Wow, that's a very tough question because I think for everyone it can kind of vary. In something like rock, pop rock that's so well brought to life live, I think I would want people to feel empowered to like learn an instrument that they love, or if it's not that kind of just like, I think really getting in touch with why you're doing it in the sense so that it comes across really pure and just free. Because I think that what gets lost a little bit is like the art behind putting on a good show and kind of the art behind, you know, really reaching people and not just getting up there and doing something, you know. I think a lot of stuff gets relied on digitals and streaming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think in a genre like pop rock, like when you can go up there and even if it's not playing an instrument, but just know how to deliver your message, you know, vocally or however it would be. Yeah, I think that it's just really, really practicing and honing in on the live side.
So people are expecting to have honest approaches to music, right? People that is like straightforward in the way they communicate music. Could we say that those are part of the values required by musicians in order to deliver correctly their message in music for this new generation?
I think honesty is probably the top of that. Honesty and love. Love is huge. You have to love creating music for it to translate. I really believe that. And I think you have to love creating it and performing it and then being honest within that. I think that goes really hand in hand, you know.
The business strategy in music has changed over the years, the decades, a lot. Please tell us about your strategy or your business approach in order to be successful in this industry.
I think for me, I'm always trying to innovate. I think a lot of it is just being on your toes. I think that for a while, I wasn't really wanting to get on social media. It was hard for me to do that. But once I did, I just led with that honesty and the love, and I just created content that really worked for me and that felt authentic. So I think keeping it authentic is a huge way right now to just, you know, be able to stay on course as an artist. And yeah, I think it's just constantly staying innovative, you know, because people's minds are changing and they're everywhere, and you have to be able to grab people's attention. And for me, I try and keep my content innovative online. I try and keep my live show innovative, my music, you know, innovative. And I think that, you know, but keeping it authentic is really important. That the mix of the two, I think is what really kind of allows, at least for me, what's been really a good kind of business plan is just always keeping my mind kind of free and just like staying in touch with why I do it in my artistry. And really bringing that online, because it can be easy online to accidentally like, you know, make content that's not true to yourself because it's just such a void on there. But I think that whatever I put out into the world is exactly who I am, is how I found most of my success, just because I think it gives some people something to really latch onto, and I'm not changing, you know, I'm consistently myself. So I think another big thing would be consistency. I think it's, yeah, consistency and authenticity and just innovation. I think that's how you can kind of move forward. To have a career in the music business, you know, that it takes so much hard work and just you have to be relentless. And I think that that's partly what I love about it. I think that comes from playing sports, as I'm competitive and I love achieving things and I love working hard at stuff. And that's why I love practicing. I practice every day, you know, before bed and in the morning. And I think that that's a big thing, is if you practice, you can be ready for any opportunity that will come your way. And if you work hard, there's so much payoff. It's one of the most magical industries. You know, all you have to do is just work hard. And I really believe great things happen, you know.
What advice would you give to other aspiring musicians who are just starting out in the music business?
Right. I think the best advice I would give is identify, back to kind of that last question, is what about being an artist and making music do you love? Do you love playing the music more than writing it, or do you love performing it as a whole, or what is the thing that you literally love about it so much that you have the ability to work so hard at? Because I think when you can identify what you love, for me, it's live. Playing live is my North Star. So when it's a tough week or a tough day, I always just know exactly what I'm working for. And it makes it so easy because it's just like, I know exactly why I'm going to get through this moment and why I'm going to practice this morning when I don't want to, or all these things. And I think that for any artist starting out, I would just say, first of all, make sure you love it so much. And I'm sure if someone steps foot on this path, they do. And then what is the thing that makes you love it so much? And take time to really understand that. It might take a few months or a year even, but I feel like once you can lock in on that, the why, and the purpose, and what kind of your voice is and what you want to say, or, then I think the rest kind of starts to fall into place.
And finally, Amy, please tell us about your current projects, future projects, about your plans. Please tell us about your work, your music, probably the most important question at the end.
Right. So very exciting year and end of the year coming up. I'm putting out a single in a few weeks, which I can't wait for. Also working on an EP, which has not been announced yet, but that is something that I'm just kind of starting the works on. I'm going to be touring this summer, which I can't wait for as well. And I think just lots of music. I think in the next year for me, it's going to be lots of touring and lots of new music. That's been kind of just the main plan, is just in tandem, kind of working both of those things. And I just kind of can't wait to see what comes from it all.
Okay, so thank you, Amy. Really, congratulations for all the hard work, for your strategy. It looks like you have everything prepared, and that you are doing what you need to do in order to be successful. And that's hard to see. Congratulations, because it's hard to find someone that has so clear of where they want to be, and probably you will turn to be in 2 or 3 years the new Madonna, or no,
That would be a dream.
different style, probably different sound, but something similar.
Means a lot. That really, really means a
Yeah,
lot. Thank you so
it can
much.
happen. It can happen, and you have the talent, you have the dream. It's only to continue the path, and really congratulations for that, Amy.
Thank you very much. I really, really, really appreciate that.